What's up, everyone? I have got another coffee review for you today, and it's specifically another Kopi Luwak coffee by the name of Kopi. Hopefully I'm saying that right. And it comes from Indonesia, specifically, and I'm going to probably butcher this pronunciation here, but the Pangalengan Highlands of West Java, Indonesia. And these beans are organically grown, and they follow fair trade international best practices. There are no Asian palm civets caged up. So they allegedly do this humanely, which is good to hear, because you hear some horror stories, or if you visited perhaps a Kopi Luwak farm in, say, Vietnam or even Indonesia, you may have seen a lot of sad-looking caged animals. It's pretty, it's kind of a dark side of the industry that has unfortunately been pretty abused. But from what I can tell, doing my research here, on their website, they look pretty legit. So they were started by three friends, Kopi that is, one from Vietnam, the other from Indonesia, and then the third from the US. And apparently this whole idea to start this coffee company came from one of the founders whose family owned a coffee farm, specifically with Asian palm civets. So they kind of picked up steam, allegedly, from just word of mouth, people trying their coffee in the States and then ordering it. And I am trying it here today, and I'll show you what those beans look like right now. You can see that these beans are definitely different from some of the other Kopi Luwak coffee beans you may have seen before, particularly those that I've already reviewed. One of which just seemed to look like coffee casings, and that one came from Vietnam. Just really thin, very minimal density. But what seemed legit about it was that it seemed like something that would have been shat out by some kind of animal, just based on the way it looked. However, these beans do look wholesome. They actually smell quite nice. It's got a nice chocolate aroma to it, and that kind of intensifies as the coffee is ground up. And then once it's brewed, and I've got a brewed cup right here, I started picking up more of a, I want to say like floral kind of nutty aroma. So kind of intertwined, almost like floral in the sense of roses. So I think I said in my last Kopi Luwak review, something about roses really do smell like boo-boo. Well, in this case, the boo-boo really smells like roses. So that was a good sign. And let's just dive into what I'm tasting here. So, unlike some of the other Kopi Luwak coffees I've tried in the past, this has a nice, I want to say, berry-like acidity in the beginning, so it's not too overwhelming. Upon my first sip, when the coffee was first brewed, I might have picked up a hint of bitterness. Like, I think I might have over-extracted it just a little bit. So you did see that I used my Bonavita immersion dripper. So that was so I can completely control the steep time. Didn't want to potentially under-extract this coffee because I did only get 30 grams of it, or just shy of 30 grams. So that was enough for about 2 cups of coffee. So nice acidity, like right when you sip it. And then in the aftertaste, that acidity sticks, but maybe shifts into more of a darker kind of chocolate phase. But I wouldn't quite describe it as chocolate. Like, teetering on chocolate, if you will. And now that I'm drinking it more, it is quite bright and not what I was expecting at all. Now, I wouldn't say that it's like super fruity, but it is definitely a different experience. I don't know how many traditional coffee lovers would necessarily like this, because it is more reminiscent, I don't want to say of tea, but it's got more acidity, as I already said, less body. It's pretty clean. There are still, though, those chocolate nutty undertones, but at least in this cup of coffee that I brewed, it's not as prevalent. So I actually think that this is quite good. Now, this little bag here of about 25 grams of coffee, that's $22. So this is incredibly expensive coffee. And unfortunately, I think, just with Kopi Luwak in general, there are diminishing returns. I mean, you just hit a point where it's like, okay, it's good. And I'm not saying all Kopi Luwak's good, because there is a lot of bullshit out there. Well, I guess palm civet shit, or inauthentic palm civet shit. But this is apparently a legitimate one. It's humanely done. So if you're going to do it from anywhere of the places I've tried it, this would be my recommendation. And I also think it does indeed taste the best. Now, having said that, $22 for, less than 30 grams of coffee is going to be outside of a lot of people's budgets. So unless you want to be able to say that you tried Kopi Luwak coffee, I don't see really a reason that you would go out of your way to buy this over, say, a 12-ounce bag of specialty coffee that might taste better than this, because I have had a lot of coffee that does taste better than this. So I'm sorry, it's not my favorite coffee in the world. Do I agree that it's the best coffee in the world? No. I mean, I can't say, honestly, because I've only brewed one batch, and that's a $22 batch. Now, this coffee was sent to me for free, so I mean, I didn't pay for it. But would I pay for it? Unfortunately, I think the answer is no. So I hope that doesn't confuse you more. I think the takeaway here is that of those Kopi Luwaks I've tried, maybe about 3 to 5 of them, this is absolutely the best. And it's probably better value than the other ones. I would have to check on the price exactly. But as to whether I think that you should go out and definitely buy Kopi Luwak coffee, I would say the answer is unequivocally no, unless you're just looking for a fun little experience. So with that said, might make a great gift for the coffee lover in your life, especially that coffee lover who hasn't tried this kind of coffee before. Otherwise, it's going to be a pass for me. So thank you so much for watching. Have you tried Kopi Luwak coffee? What did you think? Where did you get it from? I would love to hear from you. Kaya Kopi.